All right, let's dive into this one. Today we're looking at a pretty fascinating case where a really high-tech smuggling attempt slammed right into some very determined old-fashioned police work. It's an incredible story of steel, sheer ingenuity, and, well, a very, very expensive mistake.
Wow. I mean, that quote right there pretty much says it all, doesn't it? This was an audacious plan, completely built on the idea that you could hide something in plain sight just by making it almost impossible to see, let alone get to. But was it truly the perfect plan?
So let's think about this. How in the world do you move a huge amount of cocaine across borders? For these smugglers, the answer was to basically build the perfect mobile safe. A hiding spot so clever it would be practically invisible to everyone.
I mean, how do you make 50 kilograms of anything just vanish? Especially when you know it's going to get scanned and inspected. You definitely don't hide it in a suitcase, right? No, you hide it inside something so dense, so industrial, that nobody in their right mind would ever think to look. Their plan had layers, like a fortress. First, they picked these absolutely massive industrial transformers. Then, they didn't just stuff the drugs into a compartment. Oh no, they embedded them deep inside these heavy, factory-sealed copper coils. The thinking was that the sheer density of all that metal would just laugh at any X-ray trying to peek inside. It was a vault, hidden inside another vault. But, you know, every plan has a potential weakness. So from law enforcement's perspective, they're just looking at a perfectly normal piece of industrial equipment. On the surface, nothing seems wrong at all. But technology gives them an edge the smugglers just weren't counting on.
And that really is the question for the officers, isn't it? If the plan works as designed, the drugs are basically a ghost in the machine, a phantom hidden inside tons and tons of steel and copper. So where do you even begin to look for something like that?
Well, the case was ultimately cracked with this amazing one-two punch. First, a K9 unit signals that something's off, right? That alerts officers that, hey, narcotics are present. That gives them the reason to look a lot closer. And then, the X-ray. It might not see the drugs clear as day, but it picks up on these subtle, tiny differences in density, an anomaly, something inside that just shouldn't be there. And just like that, the perfect plan starts to crack.
And boom, anomaly detected. Suddenly, the invisible becomes visible. The smuggler's impenetrable fortress has just been breached, at least digitally. But now, believe it or not, comes the really hard part. You see, knowing the drugs are inside and actually getting your hands on them are two completely different things. The officers basically found a locked treasure chest, but it's sealed shut, and they definitely do not have the key. 4 hours. Let that sink in. We're not talking 4 hours of paperwork or investigation. We're talking 4 grueling hours of pure, hard physical labor, of sweat and steel, just to get inside this thing. So here's how that whole ordeal went down. The first hour, they drill a small pilot hole, and yep, confirmation, they see white powder. Hour 2, sledgehammers, just an hour of smashing away at the thick metal casing. Then comes the final brutal challenge. For 2 solid hours, teams had to manually unspool these incredibly heavy, dense copper coils, one by one, to finally get to the packages hidden deep inside. So after 4 hours of just brute force, what was the payoff? I mean, what did they actually find inside that industrial fortress? Okay, let's get to the numbers. Inside, officers recovered 48 separate bundles, each one a little piece of this super elaborate plan. And those 48 bundles, all together, they added up to a staggering 50 kilograms of cocaine. That is a massive haul by any standard. And now for the final number, the big one. An estimated street value of $1.5 million. Just an incredible seizure, all made possible by a dog's nose, a sharp-eyed X-ray tech, and a team of officers who simply refused to give up.